And this is going to be an I can't even talk and I'm a Toastmaster. This is going to be an ongoing learning webinar series brought to you by District 53 Toastmasters. You might also already be interested in additional topics for Toastmasters, which we've already posted, as well as upcoming programs on the District 53 website, on the page District 53 Webinars for more information. This webinar is being recorded and it will be posted on the District 53 website for future viewing by midday tomorrow. There is also a 6-page handout supporting this webinar. Look to the right-hand side of your screen for the tab that says Handouts, and you can download them directly from there. If you do forget to download the attachment during the live webinar, please email me and I will send it to you. To ensure the quality of the sound on this program, attendees will be muted for the length of the webinar. If you do have questions, please type them into the right-hand sidebar, and please type your questions as you think of them. Many will already be answered during the program, but additional questions will be addressed after the main presentation is complete. Please get your pens ready, and this will be a fast-paced and a value-packed program. And now for this special webinar entitled How to Earn Toastmasters Elite Accredited Speaker Designation. Do you want to learn more about earning the Toastmasters Accredited Speaker Designation? Or how to become a professional speaker using the Toastmasters programs? The Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program is designed for professional speakers who combine expert knowledge in a particular subject with mastery of the spoken word, making them sought-after experts in their respective fields. If this describes you, you're invited to apply for the Accredited Speaker Program. The Accredited Speaker Program recognizes those Toastmasters members who have achieved a level of proficiency which enables them to be paid professional speakers. Being an accredited speaker gives you a competitive edge and sets you apart from other professional speakers. That's because your talent and ability have been recognized by Toastmasters International, a world leader in communication and leadership development. Unlike other professional certifications, you can't simply complete a list of tasks to become a Toastmasters accredited speaker. Instead, you must demonstrate your speaking abilities before a live audience. Program candidates progress through 2 levels of evaluation and are judged by a panel of professional speakers. It is a rigorous yet worthwhile process. Since the program's inception in 1981, less than 20% of all applicants have become members of this exclusive group. At the August 2014 convention in Malaysia, the 66th member earned their designation. Barbara, and my apologies if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Kozam, is pictured here receiving her plaque from our current international president. Our guest speaker brings brilliant ideas to this webinar, from 28 years as a member of Toastmasters, with 25 of those years as a professional speaker. Matter of fact, she's been a professional member of the National Speakers Association since 1990, earning the Golden Microphone Award from the Los Angeles chapter and was awarded Member of the Year from both Los Angeles and San Diego chapters. So let's talk Toastmasters. In 1993, Sheryl Roush was the first woman in 10 years and only the 3rd woman to be elected District 5 governor, home of the first female international president, Helen Blanchard. Also in 1993, Sheryl was the 6th woman globally and youngest to earn the Elite Accredited Speaker designation, of which only 66 have earned this professional speaking award since 1981, and currently in 130 countries. Her journey of presenting over 330 programs has taken her to speak in 11 countries, to open on stage for Maria Osmond, to speak on programs alongside Olivia Newton-John and Susie Orman, and to keynote close for actress Gina Davis. For enhancing global communication and leadership, she received Toastmasters Esteemed Presidential Citation in 2009. Sheryl is a 17-time author, including the Heart of a Toastmaster book, publishing true stories by 135 fellow members, receiving the 214th Best Anthology from the International Book Awards. With this special webinar, How to Earn Toastmasters Elite Accredited Speaker Designation, please get ready to learn from an award-winning speaker, trainer, and coach, and please welcome, here's Distinguished Toastmaster, past District Governor, and accredited speaker, Sheryl Roush.
Yay! Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Heather. Wow, this is really exciting, especially with the revitalization of the Accredited Speaker Program. Since 1981, we have each been stepping out with our journey, and we never know where our Toastmasters journey is going to take us. Just like this image from our brand new redesigned website, this is incredibly exciting because not all of us know where it is that we are going to be going when we join Toastmasters. Here's Jana Barnhill, Distinguished Toastmaster, past International President, accredited speaker, with her question of what makes this such an elite program. And as she commented, you have to incorporate each of the presentation skills, including informative, persuasive, motivational, inspirational, entertaining, humorous, and seminar, and discussion leader, because we need to do each of these. In return for your efforts, you will reach the height of excellence in public speaking skills. All the accredited speakers, as she continued her article, agree that this program was the ultimate in taking their skills to the highest level possible. It dared us to ask the question, am I good enough to be a professional speaker? When I first saw Jana Barnhill's husband, Bob Barnhill, speak in Las Vegas in 1992, I was impressed with the caliber of presenting that he did. The brochure at that time had this question right on the front of the brochure. It said, are you good enough to be pro? I didn't know. What does it take to be pro? Well, here's our first poll. So as you're going over to the right-hand side margin and it says polls, get ready to answer this question, please. Are you currently getting paid $250 or more for a presentation? And then please select one of the following: yes, as often as I can, or no, but I'd like to. So please submit your poll and put your answer in.
Okay, Sheryl, we're at 77%, so we have a couple of more people that are going to vote. 86. Okay, I think that would be good. And so we have 32% said yes, as often as I can, and 68% no, but I'd like to.
Okay, and 68 was no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. So here are the results. There were 32% who said yes, as often as I can, 68% who said no, but I'd like to. Then here is probably the first step in becoming an accredited speaker. Start charging more for your presentations, and set your goal for making at least $250 per presentations. Now, as we get into more of the program rules, the rules do not indicate how much you need to be paid for a presentation, but we will learn that 15 of the 25 engagements submitted over a course of 3 years must be paid engagements. If you want to be a professional speaker, start thinking like one and thinking about the business. So Bob Huey from Canada is an accredited speaker, and by the way, he did not pass the first time, and he will tell you his story as well. So here's his comments. He said, don't be put off by the fact that the bar is a high one. Make it your goal to face it and rise to the challenge. With each attempt, you get better. You rise higher, and the journey is so worth it. When I started down my path to the accredited speaker, I wanted to be a professional speaker. When I finally attained it, I had already become a professional member of the National Speakers Association and the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. That was my goal. The accredited speaker was the bonus, and that is in line with what we teach and model in Toastmasters. Each step is a step closer. Each one teaches us and helps us to hone our skills, and we need more accredited speakers, so go for the challenge. Now, it's interesting that not everyone passes the first time. Bob is one particular example. There's also another speaker that I can think of that it actually took 7 times. But here's Karen Twitchell, and she's another success story of going for it, not passing the first time. She took a 30-day break after the convention where she had presented her level 2 competition in front of a live audience. So she took a 30-day break to get over her hurt feelings, to reevaluate, and to make a decision to try again. I contacted several Toastmasters who were in the audience that day and asked them for one suggestion on something I could improve. I put together a spreadsheet to sort evaluations about where I had weaknesses. What I realized was that I was presenting to a Toastmaster audience when I should have been presenting exactly the way I present professionally. I had made too many changes for that audience and took away from my authenticity. I hired a speaking coach who helped me immensely and turned to my heroes in Toastmasters for extra advice. And then I practiced every day and made changes up to the night before my second presentation. Then I just relaxed, did what I do, had fun, and passed. Her story you can also read, by the way, in the Heart of a Toastmaster book. That's Karen Twitchell. So often people ask, what is it that you get for earning the accredited speaker? Here you'll see Barbara Kazam's accredited speaker plaque that she received in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, just last August. Here is the accredited speaker pin, which you must be an accredited speaker and then purchase the pin, the lapel pin, from Toastmasters directly because they have the list of who will be receiving those. And here's what my badge looks like with the brand new rebranding. So you'll see Distinguished Toastmaster, Past District Governor, Accredited Speaker, and the years that I served District 5 proudly as District Governor. So often I get a question right here, do you need to be a DTM, a Distinguished Toastmaster, in order to apply or to earn the Accredited Speaker designation? No, you do not. I'll get more into that. Something else to consider of what do you get? Well, the Accredited Speaker program will help you stand out from the competition, and any of my colleagues would tell you the same thing. It offers us a higher status, greater visibility, and enhanced credibility. We receive the plaque on stage of the convention, which this is worthy to note, right before the world champion of public speaking on the big stage is announced. Based on that you have passed level 1, passed level 2, you are behind the curtain with Toastmaster World Headquarters staff awaiting to be called onto the stage to receive your plaque, your name badge, your lapel pin. Amazing. After you receive your accredited speaker designation, then the world champion is announced. Here are some of those colleagues that I mentioned regarding the plaque and receiving them on their auspicious days. So here is Bob Huey, here's Karen Twitchell, and Rochelle Rice. So both of these ladies received their accredited speaker on the same day at the International Convention. Most recently is Tammy Miller, past international director, and our youngest, so he beat my record of being the youngest Toastmaster ever to receive the accredited speaker designation, Patrick Hardy. And he is going on to receive additional accreditations in his professional line of industry. This is Barbara Kazam on stage at the 2014 annual convention in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Of 2 candidates who had passed level 1 to present at the international convention, Barbara was the only one who did pass. So here's a note. Envision yourself speaking in front of this size of an audience. There were actually 700 to 800 people in that particular audience. In how many people apply each year, every single person can pass. So one of the questions that is often asked this year is how many submitted, or on an average, how many candidates apply for the Accredited Speaker Program. This year, 12 were submitted, 2 were immediately disqualified for not following the rules, not meeting the criteria. 10 were then passed on to the judges at level 1 to review not only the application, the letters of recommendation, plus their video, to watch all of the video, and then using the ballot form, which you'll see coming up in the slides here tonight, then those 10 were judged. 3 were passed to be judged at level 2 in Las Vegas at the International Convention this August, and I'll give you more information on that. So imagine yourself presenting on a large platform in front of a larger audience, typically for 25 to 45 minutes. Here are some of the colleagues that you will be joining from past International Director Dawn Inch. There's me. There's Bob and Jana Barnhill, past District Governor. By the way, these two are past international presidents. Here's past District Governor Wayne Choate and past International Director Ray Brooks. So these are some of the colleagues that you get to join. Well, a question often asked is, what are the benefits you have received as a result? As Jana Barnhill would say, as accredited speakers, we are often asked how we have benefited from earning our designation. In addition to improving our skills and receiving invitations to speak at international conferences, district and international conferences, the credential is more important to those of us who speak professionally because it distinguishes us from other speakers. I can't tell you how many professional speaking engagements that I've received as a result of having the accredited speaker in my bio, on my website, in my emails, going back out. It does give us an added edge. Here is Dr. Dillip, now Master of Divinity as well. And the question that he's answering here is, does having the award really give you greater credibility? Keep in mind that Dillip is also a professional member of the National Speakers Association, in addition to having been on the world stage, placing in the top 3 of the World Championship. So did Jana Barnhill, by the way. So he is coming from a position of being a professional speaker, a professor, and member of National Speakers Association and accredited speaker. So he says that the designation has given me instant credibility with prospects and clients. Although non-Toastmasters don't have any idea about what is required to earn the accredited speaker designation, they recognize it as a high-level recognition of professional speaking skills by an international organization. I use it as a way to differentiate myself from others in the speaking, coaching, and training industry. Dillip is now a multi-published author. So in our program, you are going to discover how to get started, more about the process, the guidelines, and those critical rules, as well as insights and suggestions that will help you pass the first time. So kicking in, here's handout page 1. Hopefully you have downloaded them from the handouts over in the right-hand side margin. Click on those, otherwise you'll be viewing what the handout page looks like here. How do you get started? There are 4 PDF files on this website at toastmasters.org/resources/contest/accredited-speaker for you to download to help you get started, including what are the next steps, what about the letters of recommendation, about the program rules. All of it is there. So from that, the program rules, who is eligible? This is also in your handout. And who is eligible? Top of page 2 inside the handout. A potential applicant must be any of these, all of these, before applying. Now keep in mind that the application date is between January 1st and February 1st of each year. We must be a current Toastmaster member in good standing, in a club that is also in good standing, just like competing in a speech contest. You've earned one of the following educational awards or higher: Able Toastmaster, Advanced Toastmaster Bronze, or Advanced Communicator Bronze. Note, it does not say Distinguished Toastmaster. So right there in the rules, no, you do not need to be a Distinguished Toastmaster in order to start the application process. Here's the one that most people wonder, how can I get speaking engagements? So you have given a minimum of 25 speaking engagements. It does not say paid right there. 25 speaking engagements to non-Toastmasters audiences. To clarify that, you may have a couple of Toastmaster members in the audience, but the audience needs to be a non-Toastmaster group or event. It could be a public seminar, it could be a presentation at your corporation or an organization. And note that you can apply gaining those 25 over the past 3 years. This next clause is stating that you cannot be an international officer or director or a candidate for those positions or a region advisor. You cannot be eligible to participate in the Accredited Speaker Program. This is because we are in servant leadership, and Accredited Speaker is more of a personal goal. So, all right, let's do the next poll. Ready? All right, get your keypads ready. Based on what you just heard, are you eligible to apply? So select one of these answers. Yes, I am, or not yet, but I'm working on it.
All right, we're at 54. All right, it looks like we've got 79.
Or yes?
83. All right, it looks like it's sitting still at 83%. So 25% said yes, I am, and 75% said yes, or sorry, not yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay, thank you. Wow, good job on that poll. Can you switch us back to the slide?
It's on yours.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my bad. Okay. All right. Here are the results of that survey. Of those who had replied, there were 54 responses, by the way. 25% said, yes, you are eligible. 75 are working on it. Yay! We'll give you some tips on how to improve that. Here's the first tip. Follow the rules. More people disqualified because they do not follow one of the rules in the application process, so stick to it. Here's a partial list in your handout on page 2 of how to apply. When you, I have all 4 of these up on the screen, but in your handout, due to space allotment there, then I've given you numbers 1 and number 4. So your application must be received at World Headquarters by February 1st, period. So here's a tip. Make sure that it is sent priority with a receipt required. Send it certified, however that you can track it, and do not wait until the last minute. I would also send it either express mail or priority mail, whatever your postal will do, and make sure that you get it in ahead of time. There have been qualified candidates in the past who have missed that postmark date. Oh, it's heartbreaking, I'll tell you that. With your list of your 25 speaking engagements over the past 3 years from the date of application, so it goes back 3 years prior to the year that you are applying, presentations must, each of those 25 presentations must be at least 20 minutes in length. And by the way, they must be in English. Just like with all of our speech contests, they are to be delivered in English. The second requirement here is that 15 of those 25 engagements must be paid. Notice that it does not say a dollar amount. So I encourage you to start with $250, maybe for an hour-long presentation. Start getting paid. Start getting paid. A minimum of 20 people in the audience. Now, for some people that's a stretch. Bring in a few extra people to what those presentations are and ensure that you have at least 20 people in each presentation. I would also encourage you to be giving an advanced manual presentation with a Toastmaster in the audience to give you an evaluation, and you can triple dip on this. So anyway, use the Toastmasters program and maximize it. Number 2 is a link to a video presentation. That video presentation, and I'm going to say, must be high quality and where you are microphoned as well as the audience and your introducer, because a presentation must be able to be viewed without distortion by the judges. This has also been not an official disqualification, but because the judges couldn't judge it, then they could not pass those individuals. So the presentation must be 20 to 45 minutes in length, use those advanced manuals, spoken in English, and recorded before a live non-Toastmasters audience. Live. In the past, when we had audio recording only, we could tell as judges that someone had gone into a recording studio and read a script. And although masterfully written was quickly disqualified. Needs to have an audience. Now, with 20 people in your audience, that is going to give you energy and feedback and engagement. That's to your benefit as well. Number 3, 5 letters of recommendation. So you have 5 different clients, one from each of those 5 different clients for your paid engagements, not the pro bono, which is free, or donation or love offering engagements, but paid engagements. There is an official accredited speaker program recommendation form that must be used for these, and they are confidential. They are submitted directly to World Headquarters and then included in the application that is presented to the judges at level 1. Step number 4 is a non-refundable level 1 application fee of $100. This barely covers Toastmasters World Headquarters administrative fees. So I'm glad that at least there's, anyway, you need to do that. So if an applicant is advanced to level 2, and keep in mind every applicant can be advanced. Every single one can earn accredited speaker the first time you apply. If by chance you need to go back again, well, let's see, okay, the first time around, there's an additional non-refundable $100 fee, which then covers your plaque. So then if you do not pass at level 2, you can reapply again, and you can repeat it. You don't need to do another recorded presentation. You might want to, though. That's completely up to you, because after a year, you will have improved. Then you submit an additional $150 non-refundable fee, and the number of times a candidate may try to pass level 2 is limited to 3 times. This is also for your benefit. So then after that, you get a fresh start and you reapply again at level 1. So how you apply. The video presentation, also on page 2 for your notes, give you more tips on that. It's 20 to 45 minutes, not including the introduction. And your introduction must be seamless on the video, just like we would do in our club situation. We're introduced, and then poof, we're on, we shake hands, we're up, we're on. Same thing, unedited. And it needs to be a complete presentation, not ending abruptly or short, or, well, quickly. And if there are handouts that support your presentation, those are also submitted with your application. Again, spoken in English, recorded before a live non-Toastmaster audience. These are guidelines that are strongly recommended. Use a professional quality recording method. Include the person who introduces you and your speech, because then those without introductions will not be considered. It needs to have, just like we teach in Toastmasters, our structure, a clearly defined opening, body, and closing. So those go on to the video presentation. All right, so here's our next poll. Have you already reached out to an accredited speaker for mentoring you in this process? You may or may not know that we are available, any of us. So please select on the poll one of these 2 answers. Yes, I have, or not yet, but I will.
We're up to 61, so we're getting there. Uh, 83%.
83 yes?
83 yes. And it looks like that is it. So we have 83%, 100% not yet, but I will.
Okay. Wow, that's exciting. All right. We are available to you complimentary for helping mentor you for accredited speaker. Now, keep in mind, this is different from professional coaching to help you with your professional business, as in your one-sheets, your website, your business cards, etc., or on your speaking presentation. However, we are available to you. I'll come back to that and give you more information in just a couple of minutes regarding how to contact mentors. Here's how the program works, and this is on page 2 and directly out of the program rules. When you meet all of these requirements, you submit your application, the fees, and the supplemental materials between January and February 1st of each year. Then it also has the link to one of your video presentations filmed before a live audience. So here's a tip for the video. Start videotaping more of your presentations so that when it comes down to the application process, you submit your finest. Great content, incredible delivery, great interaction with the audience, doing what it is that you love to do. As Karen Twitchell had commented, she just did what she does, which happens to be the caregiver's journey. So level 1, and you get to choose whatever topic that it is, do what it is that you do. At level 1, the applications are reviewed for their completeness, and this is at World Headquarters, the video submissions, and then reviewed by a panel of judges who are accredited speakers. An applicant who has a majority of the judges agree demonstrates a high caliber presentation skills and is advanced to level 2. So level 1 is judged on the application and the video. We're looking for a couple of things, and I'll give you some ideas of that coming up here on a slide as well. At level 2, applicants who then pass level 1 are invited to present before a live audience, including the panel of judges. Just like at a regular speech contest, you have no idea who they are, but they're sitting out there and they're paying attention to every word and action. Then you get to speak at the International Convention. This year will be in Las Vegas, Nevada. So applicants whose live presentations then meet the required level of professionalism as agreed by a majority of judges, and I'll come back and I'll explain how the judges judge this, those are awarded this prestigious accredited speaker designation. So here's the question. How do the judges arrive at a final decision after level 2 presentation? I bet you're asking that. Well, here is the not-so-secret judges guide and ballot form. Just like we have for any of our speech contests, this one is specific to the Accredited Speaker Program because we are looking for answering these questions. With this judging and following the point system, we consider a couple more questions. Would you pay to hear this speaker? Would you hire this speaker to address your company or organization? Right there, those two questions and how a judge might answer it could determine the pass or fail. This is a high bar. Everyone can earn it by working the Toastmasters program. The judging items include speech development, audience response. That's why, too, the larger the audience, the more response that you will have, the more energy. The speech value. Is it valuable to that particular audience? And that's why in your introduction, it's great to say who the group is and what is the purpose of the presentation. And then the judges can pay attention to that. The physical, again, the appearance, the body language, the voice, the energy that goes into that. The platform style, the directness, the assurance, the enthusiasm, how appropriate. The correctness of grammar. Notice that grammar, punctuation, and word selection are the lowest, just like they are in our speech contests as well. So at level 1, a total of 68 points are required to pass the video presentation. At the live presentation, the judges are watching you on the stage, a total of 80 points is necessary to pass the live presentation. Here's more information about the criteria. Now email me. My email was just on that last slide. So Sheryl, let me go back here and point that out for you. If you would like a copy of the judge's ballot, you can email Sheryl at SherylRoush.com. I will be happy to email that to you. The back side, the reverse of this, gives more information into the evaluator or to the judge. And we do follow this. This is exactly what we're looking for in evaluating the applicant. What happens after this, I'll put this, here you go, put this back up here for you a second. After the candidates have presented their live presentation, so based on in Vegas, there are 3 during a 1-hour educational time slot. So each accredited speaker candidate will have 20 minutes to give their stellar presentation to qualify for accredited speaker. After they are completed, the judges sequester to a special room where there's a chief judge who does not have voting power with the judges to be determined by world headquarters, by the way, and the judges may include current seated international directors. They may include world champions, may include accredited speakers, may include past international officers, including past international presidents, past international directors. It may include any of those. The judges talk about each candidate for as long as necessary to determine their final ballot. After that time, and as quickly as possible, but it may be an hour to 2 hours later, the candidate is then informed by the chief judge or world headquarters staff that yes, they passed, or if they did not, they are given feedback at that time of how they can improve. Again, it's done with a lot of love, a lot of compassion, and holding the bar of what the accredited speaker is about. So what support is available for those pursuing the designation? Look at this website down here. Oops, go to accreditedspeakers.com and look under AS Mentorship HTML. So here we go. This is exactly what the website looks like. And again, complimentary advisors and mentorship. Here is a list of the 66 accredited speakers who have earned the designation since 1981. There are at least 35 who are still currently active members and willing to be of support for you for mentorship. Choose one. You can go to this page and look, find someone who's maybe local to you or correspond during email. And we're here to support you. I recently created the next two handouts for you, thinking if I were you and what I wish I knew then that now I know. So these next two pages are tracking and achievement charts, pretty much like we would do for the educational program as well. And here it is, more information. Put your name, your district, your club up here. Are you good enough to be pro? And here's information about the program. The action items to do. First of all, set the goal. What's the date? Perhaps it's even today that you set the goal to earn the accredited speaker designation. Here are the websites, the links to go to for things that you will need. Regarding the application process, here are the 4 PDFs to download. Ask your mentor. There is that link again. Starter spreadsheet. Here's something I wish that I had done sooner, but my participation with the National Speakers Association has really encouraged me to do this, is to create a spreadsheet of all of your speaking engagements so far, as back as you can, I would suggest, but at least for the 3 years prior to when you will be applying. And then make sure that you have 20 minutes minimum, 20 people in the audience, and then start videotaping and then to submit them. Again, here's my email address if you would like that judge's ballot form. And then all the way through, you pass the application process, level 1, level 2, yay, and become an accredited speaker, yay! And you get to have a lot of fun with our colleagues. On handout page 4 is the second tracking sheet that will help you, like that spreadsheet, if you will. So the date of the engagement, who was the client, the organization where you spoke to, get a letter of recommendation, and I strongly recommend getting a printed letter of recommendation on their stationery, their letterhead. Then it has their contact information so that when you do apply and you need to have them go back online and do this, you have a copy of their comments, their suggestions, the date, what was the fee. It's going to be so helpful for you. The program length, again, 20 minutes or more. The fee received, hopefully $250 or more US, and audience size, so you can track that. And print these out. These are in the handouts. Print them out and start using them. So let me offer for you some additional insights and suggestions, including attending the International Convention at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States of America. The live presentations, level 2 judging, will be on Friday, August 14th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. in the Augustus 3 and 4 rooms. Make sure that you are registered for the convention. You will not be admitted into the program unless you have your official registration name badge. And you will see 3 candidates going for the accredited speaker. Now, what I didn't tell you earlier, I'll share with you now. All 3 this year happen to be women. All 3 candidates happen to be women, and all 3 can pass just like you. Now, you want to know more information about this entire accredited speaker program? A dozen of us are co-presenting, sharing everything that we possibly know on the day before the International Convention opens in Vegas. So this is on Tuesday, August 11th. The early bird rate is $139 US, and you can register at this short link, seen here as well as on the flyer. It is from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Lunch will be on your own, but this event is approved by Toastmasters International. And in the morning session, we focus specifically on earning accredited speaker. The afternoon session, we help you develop your speaking business for being a professional and paid speaker. Here are the accredited speakers so far on the program. There are 12. So let me give you a couple of heads up regarding them. All right, and let's go ahead and take another poll. Are you interested in attending the special event August 11th? Please select one of the following: yes, not at this time, or might you be interested in the audio recordings? At the same time as the Accredited Speaker Day, it's also top 3 training for our district officers. So we have decided to audio record the entire day. All right?
We're almost there. We're at 73%.
Okay.
Okay, and it looks like that would be it. So right now we have 19% yes, 25% not right now, and 56% interested in the audio recordings.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback. We've made really good decisions then. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Okay, well, how exciting. All right, here's a couple of the speakers that will be presenting on August 11th, including Mr. Dana Lamont, world champion of public speaking and accredited speaker, and to date, he is the only one who has earned both awards. Mr. Dana Lamont. From the National Speakers Association, Certified Speaking Professional, and from Toastmasters Accredited Speaker, Peter Stark is flying in for the day to be of support. He is with the $1 Million Roundtable of the National Speakers Association, one of the top, speaker, trainer, author, consultants in all of the United States, and just amazing. He is one of a handful of people who have both the CSP and the AS, by the way. Johnny Campbell, you've seen him at the International Convention before as one of the luncheon keynoters. Denise Merrick is also an award-winning New York best-selling author. She's out of Canada. And humorist John Kindy, who happens to live in Las Vegas, by the way. So those are some of the speakers. Here's more information. Oh, if you're not able to come to Vegas, then if there's anything that I can do, these are some of the resources that I have created specifically for Toastmasters in mind. And email me if you would like a copy of this flyer. It's a special, by the way, so instead of, and this includes coaching, then I'd be happy to help you, or the webinar special for today is $425. So here's what we've learned so far in these past 45 minutes. How to get started. More insight into the process, the guidelines, and how critical those rules are. And insights and suggestions that will help you pass the first time. Hopefully, you have been inspired by this educational webinar, because new accredited speakers are welcome, and we roll out the red carpet for you. Here are some of the colleagues that you will be joining. Karen Twitchell, Wayne Choate, Gianna Barnhill, Kai Rambo, Ross Mackay, me, Dr. Dillip, Ray Brooks, Patrick Hardy, Tammy Miller. So let's open it up for questions. What questions do you have for me that I have not already answered?
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheryl. So as Sheryl mentioned, we're now going into the question and answer part of the webinar. If you have any questions that you have not yet asked Sheryl, please ask them now and we will address them. So Sheryl, our first question is, for the requirement about a certain number of paid engagement, how does TI verify the paid part? Pay stubs?
They can do pay stubs as well as the testimonial letters often indicate how much was paid.
Okay. And there was a question directed at me, so I think I'll skip that one. There is a minimum of money. What is the minimum of money that counts as a paid speaker?
Wow. Okay, there's a couple of ways to look at that. First of all, what's the minimum of the, let's say, payment toward the accredited speaker? There is no amount which is currently designated. However, based on that this award is presented for professional, which means paid, speaking, please use your best judgment in what that dollar amount would be. Early in the program, I suggested at least $250 per presentation. If you think about what your time is worth, your area of expertise, and how many years that have gone into perfecting your particular topic, what is your time worth? Not consulting time, but speaking time. What I have calculated is that for every minute of a presentation, it's about 1 hour of preparation. What is that worth? Think of the 5 to 7 minute world champion speeches. Think of professional caliber keynotes. What I would not consider in putting onto the form is a love offering at, say, for instance, your church or synagogue. I would not consider that. And you cannot count product sales. So if you are selling books or services in the back of the room, those do not count toward a speaking engagement fee. If the organization writes you a check that is for your speaking fee, or that it's speaking fee plus expenses, then you indicate what the speaking fee amount is onto the application. Again, we are looking for colleagues who are professional speakers, who are in the business of speaking, and have demonstrated the delivery and the content and the caliber to earn this designation. Do webinars count as speaking engagements? No. Remember that it needs to be live presentations, and TI's definition of that at World Headquarters is seated in front of you. You are in the same room, person to person, heart to heart. That may change in the future. However, currently, webinars do not count as those speaking engagements.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with Able Toastmaster or Advanced Toastmaster Bronze in our current tracks. Please explain.
Thank you. Thank you. In the new revitalization, no, these titles do not exist. However, keeping in mind that we are in a transition year with our titles for our educational accomplishments, these are titles that we have earned in the past. So for instance, when I applied, and this will go back 3 years, even though I go back farther than that, the Able Toastmaster, we had Able Toastmaster, just like we do now, the Advanced, we had Able Toastmaster Bronze, Silver, and we didn't have Gold. And we've expanded that, the Advanced Toastmaster Bronze. Now we have changed it to Advanced Communicator Bronze. So no, these are older titles, but they are being honored in the transition with our revitalization. So you would know if you earned one. If not, then use the current title, so the Advanced Communicator Bronze. Advanced Communicator Bronze or higher to submit.
Okay, and there was a question that came in on chat. I guess GoToWebinar is glitching a little bit because it went to everybody, but it looks like it's from me. Although, it's actually, I would have asked a similar question. Are there specific topics that are better? I give hour plus lectures, for example, on marketing. Mine would be social media marketing.
Wow. The topic is completely up to you. Completely up to you.
Okay.
When I did this back in 1993, I was speaking professionally as an inspirational, motivational speaker. So that's what I did for my presentation, and mine was gosh, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in August of 1993. And I remember I opened up with magic. I pulled flame out of a coffee mug, which I'd never done magic before, and I closed by rewriting the words to When You Wish Upon a Star, and I had never sung before an audience before either. So I think that, again, part of the journey is about the stretch, and how are you stretching yourself, and yet when you go for this designation, you are being honored for what it is that you do professionally. You get to pick the topic. Now, what sets you apart as a professional or accredited speaker? Being a topic expert, that passion and energy that you bring to the program, but demonstrating it in your own style.
Okay, thank you, Sheryl. Let's see, how do you determine what topics would set you apart as a professional accredited speaker?
Oh, thank you. I just went there. So depending on do what it is that you do, and that's what the judges want to see.
Okay, and this looks like it's the same person that asked earlier about what's the minimum money counts. Well, I've been speaking paid for a few years, but I charge a lot more, but in the beginning it was not.
Yes, and here's when I coach people in how to go from speaking from free to having a fee, I find, and I found the same thing for me setting my own fees, it seems to be attached to our self-worth or self-esteem. The better that we feel about ourselves, the more confident that we are in our speaking skills, the more we begin to charge more.
Okay.
To be considered and let me kind of revert back to a question that was asked earlier, you know, kind of at what point, what fee are you considered a professional speaker? In the National Speakers Association and the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, NSA or CAPS, if you are not charging at least $5,000 US a presentation, you might not be considered a professional. Now that's high. Now I didn't start there either. However, I started, gosh, my first speech was $75, by the way. It was $75, and I remember I shouldn't be paid for having so much fun, and I didn't cash a check for over gosh, a month or two. Took an advanced Toastmaster with me who did an advanced manual evaluation for me, so I double and triple dipped on that and applied it toward my accredited speaker. But you know, I'm okay making money now. So I think that start where you think you are. This would be a good time to have a coach, or maybe as your Toastmaster mentors for accredited speaker, we can help you determine where to start speaking, where to get those engagements, and how to start charging. Great question. You just got to start somewhere.
Okay. What audiences should I focus on marketing my presentation to as opposed to others?
Well, let's start that. You need to have 25 outside presentations, and let's say that 10 of those are not paid. 15 are, but let's say that 10 are not. I think that a great place for us to start as Toastmasters are at the service organizations who meet weekly. And these can include Lions and Rotary clubs, and you can go to rotary.org or lions.org and contact the program chair, because every week these service organizations need to have a 20-minute speaker. That's a great place to start practicing. The more that you develop your specific topic that you will be paid for is going to determine who you market that to, because meeting planners are looking for a match between your topic, what do you offer, and our particular members or our audience. So the marketing needs to align between the two.
Okay. I work as a trainer for a training company. Do those count?
Thank you for that question. Not all of them count. However, we've had discussions regarding this with world staff, and we believe that the number that can be accepted on the application is 3. So what that will encourage you to do is go ahead and use 3 for those as you are a trainer for a training company, which means that it may be your salary, and that's okay. Figure out what that would be. You can count that for 3 of those paid engagements. Then for the rest of them, choose different audiences, different targets, different organizations. It shows how well-rounded that you are.
Okay. If you pass to the round where you present at the international convention, are your travel costs covered by TI, like the international speech contests?
Actually, thank you. And there may be some questions regarding contestants going to the International Speech Contest, because many districts, by the way, are having fundraisers to provide those travel and accommodations for their contestants. That issue aside, no. For accredited speaker, based on its professional designation, above and beyond the other levels of Toastmasters, you pay your own way.
Okay. Can you vary the topics you speak on?
Oh, yes, and please do. Yes, and please do. I think that too, because you need to have more diversity in your topic range. Very few, I can't even think of more than 5 speakers that are at very high levels of pay in the National Speakers Association who have only one topic. You just don't. Otherwise, you can be a subject matter expert, but you still have at least 3 different topics. So yes, vary your topics. It shows your diversity, and it'll help keep you in business for the long term.
Okay. Does anyone have any more questions?
These have been great questions.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's so funny because you said 8:30 and we're at 8:26. We must be Toastmasters. All right. I would remind everybody, if they have questions and they think of them after the fact, please email me. You'll be getting a reminder saying thank you for attending this, and I'm more than happy to pass them on to Sheryl directly. We do appreciate extra questions, and I know, as every webinar I've ever given, that we do have people that say, oh, shucks, you know, I should have asked that when we were on, but don't think that it's not going to happen. We will make sure that those questions do get answered.
So we're available. Take advantage of the mentors. We're here for you. We are your cheerleaders. We're your friends. We're your mentors. We want to help you pass the first time.
Ooh, we got a good one in. What was your biggest challenge?
My business challenge? Oh my gosh. Well, for me, I was on the Hall of Fame stage as Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training, receiving the Education and Training Award at the same time that the Accredited Speaker Program was starting on the other side of this huge convention center. And Toastmaster International headquarters staff brought me right off the stage, and we were running through all of the back hallways to get to the Accredited Speaker Designation auditorium at that particular time. And the person who was going to speak before me, since I was in the Hall of Fame, being recognized for leadership in my district, that person chickened out. They backed out at the last second. So my greatest challenge was between not being, and maybe it was a good thing that I wasn't in the room early enough to get too nervous. And then the part that I did not visualize, I'm a firm believer in visualize the entire process and take it from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 all the way. What I did not visualize was being behind that curtain, waiting for my name to be called, to go up onto the stage, to receive my plaque and award in front of 3,000 people, fellow Toastmasters from around the globe, and right before the world champion of public speaking was announced. Please make sure to visualize receiving the award on stage.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'll tell you, my knees were knocking backstage, and Terry McCann, who was, a twice gold medal Olympic wrestler, was backstage with me. He's the executive director at the time of this, and he looked at me, he says, Sheryl, are you okay? And I'm thinking, I didn't visualize this part. And he just kind of grinned, He's a world-class athlete. I didn't visualize this. So visualize the whole thing. Visualize it all. You can do this, and we want you to earn the Toastmasters Elite Accredited Speaker Designation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sheryl. So I think that wraps up our evening for tonight. And so thank you very, very much to accredited speaker Sheryl Roush for this terrific presentation. And thank you so much to everyone who attended. As a reminder, this webinar has been recorded and will be available on the District 53 website. I will post it tomorrow. And if anyone, again, has questions, please pass them along to me, and I will happily pass them along to Sheryl. This concludes the presentation tonight. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.